team picking? Oh, no. I know. No. This is what you do. You dip it in the, just dip another one. Oh, hey, you know what this French fry looks like? You know what it looks like? This looks like the number one. This looks like the number one. What does that remind you of? The Toronto Maple Leafs just won the draft lottery and get the first overall pick in 2026! Let's talk about it! Hey, do you want to dominate off the ice as much as hockey players from Whitehorse, Yukon dominate on the ice? What? Wait, I could be talking about any of them. There's plenty of them from Whitehorse in the Yukon. Well then, my dearest friend, you need the Toyota Tacoma. Oh, sure you do. There's greater than an 8.5% chance you do. Its standard I-Force engine boasts an impressive towing capacity of up to 6,400 pounds. That's so many pounds! That's how many points he's gonna get too, 6,400. Hey, maybe you're hauling a bunch of gear to Toronto, maybe somewhere near the core, maybe somewhere near the arena, because you're like moving and stuff. Well, the available power liftgate can help you with that whole process, loading stuff in, taking it out. Oh, that's a cinch, my friend. You know, or maybe you're playing in the game, or maybe it's a road trip going somewhere. You can tackle it with ease. The JBL speaker system, it's loud, proud, and you can pick it up and take it with you. If you want to experience power, capability, and convenience, then your first overall pick needs to be the Toyota Tacoma. Visit shoptoyota.ca. I said visit shoptoyota.ca, or you can also visit your local Ontario Toyota dealers during Red Tag Days, which is now through May. Now, let's get back to the video about recent breaking news. Do you understand? This is the funniest outcome. Oh, stop your pouting. I know a bunch of fans outside of the Leafs fan base are upset right now, and they're saying it's rigged, and they're upset saying it's rigged, and everything is rigged. Oh yeah, it's definitely rigged. This league is rigged in favor of a team that hasn't won a championship since 2 years prior to the moon landing. Oh yeah, I bet. That seems likely. That seems more likely. But this, other than maybe the Florida Panthers, is easily, by far, if you step outside of yourself, the funniest outcome. Do you understand? The Toronto Maple Leafs, between 1985 and 2015, after picking Wendell Clark first overall, hadn't gotten the first overall pick. 2016 comes. They are trying to lose. They are trying to finish last. They get 69 points, something that I think is nice and often forgotten. They finish last in the NHL by the skin of their teeth, and they still have like a 20-25% chance of getting the first overall pick. Guess what? They do! They get the first overall pick, and they use it to select Austin Matthews. But just because he's first overall doesn't mean he's going to be good. Doesn't mean he's going to stick in the NHL for a long time. Doesn't even mean that it's the right pick. And guess what? He turns into the greatest goal scorer in franchise history. I said the greatest goal scorer in franchise history. And then they make the playoffs for 9 consecutive seasons. Steve, what did they do in those 9 consecutive seasons? Shut up! I know! There was very limited success. But it still stands that they made the playoffs for 9 consecutive years after winning the first overall pick in the draft lottery in 2016. And then what happened? They falter once. They have one crappy year. One where they don't make the playoffs. They have one crappy regular season. I see you rolling your eyes. They have one crappy regular season where they miss the playoffs. They've traded away all their picks. There is a greater likelihood than not that they are going to give a top 10 pick to a division rival in the Boston Bruins. And after making the playoffs for 9 straight years after winning the 2016 draft lottery, they win the the 2026 draft lottery with an 8.5% chance of winning the day after the most cataclysmic mood hits the fan base in over a decade. And just like that, the mood changes in Leafs Nation. Get in the car, we're all going to Wendy's and getting John Chakenators. John Chakenators, those are all gone. We're getting Chakenators. Do you understand what this means? I really honestly don't think you do. Also, you think I'm losing my mind now? Here's my live reaction alongside Adam Wilde and Jesse Blake at the SDPN studios. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, I lost my mind a little bit, but I don't think you realize what this means. This changes everything. Here's what this means. The Toronto Maple Leafs get to pick first overall in 2026. In 2027, they have to give up a first-round pick to the Philadelphia Flyers from the Scott Laughton trade, and that draft pick is unprotected. Yeah, squeaky butt time a little bit. And then, in 2028, the Leafs have to give a first-round pick to the Boston Bruins, who they still owe a first-round pick to, and it will be unprotected, but it won't be until 2028. The Boston Bruins, who made this trade in 2025, are not going to get to see the fruits of it. I know Fraser Minton's good, shut up. They're not going to get to see the draft pick fruits of it until 2028. How the heck did this happen? Brad Treliving with just a Hail Mary down the field. It's top 5 protected. Brad, how the heck didn't you get it top 10 protected? What's the matter with you? And somehow the Bruins, the Bruins aren't going to get this draft pick until Gavin McKenna is in his 20s. How on earth is this the reality that we're all living in today? I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down. This is stressful. This is stressful. I gotta cool down. I gotta replenish before I get to my next thought. Now, here's what's incredible. Just yesterday, Matt Sundin rejoins the Leafs in a big role in a made-up title, but I don't care. Do you care? I don't care. I want Matt Sundin here. John Chayka is named the 19th general manager in Leafs history to mixed reviews, mostly negative, right? And now the mood changes completely because the Leafs get the first overall pick. Yeah, but Steve, what if Austin Matthews leaves? Because it was reported today that there is a possibility. There's still a possibility that Austin Matthews leaves. Let's talk about this. The San Jose Sharks won the second overall pick. They had the 9th pick. They moved all the way up to second. That second overall pick is going to join the ranks of Macklin Celebrini, Yaroslav Askarov, Michael Misa, William Eklund, Will Smith, Chernyshov. I know I'm missing other ones, but here's something that was thrown my way. What if you trade Matthews to San Jose and it's for something like the second overall pick this year and Michael Misa? Whoa, whoa, whoa! I would never do that, some of you are saying. I would absolutely do that, some of you are saying. Here's the thing. If Matthews stays, which he has 2 years left on his contract, we should probably get that out of the way. Listen. We keep saying he has 2 years left on his contract, and that is true. But you can't get caught in a Mitch Marner situation where you lose this player for nothing, right? The Vancouver Canucks refused to get caught in that situation. That's why they moved on from Quinn Hughes. And even though it hurts to lose Quinn Hughes and he's doing incredibly with Minnesota, you got some pretty good assets for him. Let's say Austin Matthews stays. He gets to play with Gavin McKenna. Let's say Austin Matthews stays. Gavin McKenna gets to play with Austin Matthews. There's one option, right? He stays and he re-signs, sticks around with the team, gets to be Gavin McKenna's captain. Maybe that could be a 1-2 punch. Maybe it's a 1-2-3 punch with Willie. Whatever, who knows? All right, here's another option. What if, let's just talk about it. It's not happening, relax. It's not actually happening, relax. Let's talk about it. What if he leaves? Well, you'd be sad. I understand that. Well, that's a team rebuilding. Matter of fact, that's a Team D building. Oh no. Well, you know what you could be? The Vancouver Canucks, who moved on. Like their scenario, their Austin Matthews scenario was they got rid of Quinn Hughes. They started the rebuild, and they were hoping for the first overall pick tonight, and they didn't get it. The Leafs already have the first overall pick. So if they have to rebuild, that's a very large if they have to rebuild, they're not starting from zero. They just got the first overall pick in the draft. Now, do I want them to rebuild personally? No, not really. On account of the Flyers get your unprotected first round pick next year. And then the Bruins get it 2 years from now, a full 3 drafts from now. I still can't wrap my head around that. By the way, easily the funniest situation is the first round pick the Leafs got from Colorado. Colorado all of a sudden stinks next year, and the Leafs end up picking higher than the Flyers. That is literally a thing that could happen. I think it's very unlikely, but it is something that could happen. Oh, what's the likelihood of that happening? Well, the likelihood of the Leafs getting this pick were 8.5%. Again, they were more likely than not, when this night began, to give the 6th or 7th overall pick to the Boston Bruins. They end the night with the first overall pick. Best case scenario, Matthews stays, McKenna shows up, is great, and they get to play together. Worst case, Matthews leaves, and the rebuild has already begun because they have Gavin McKenna, or whoever they pick first overall, who I will then say is better, but probably Gavin! Now listen, I can't show you footage of Gavin McKenna playing in college hockey from this past year with Penn State. That's not something I'm allowed to do. I am not allowed to show you footage of him playing his rookie season in college hockey, where he had 15 goals, 36 assists, 51 points in 35 games. He had over an assist per game. But you know what I am allowed to do? I'm allowed to show you footage from Gavin McKenna's championship winning season with the WHL's Medicine Hat Tigers from last season. I'm allowed to show you footage from when Gavin McKenna scored 41 goals in 56 games in the WHL. I'm allowed to show you footage from when Gavin McKenna had 88 assists in 56 games in the WHL. I'm allowed to show you footage from when Gavin McKenna had 129 points in 56 games. I said 129 points in 56 games the year before his draft year. I'm allowed to show you footage of when Gavin McKenna scored 9 goals in 16 WHL playoff games, which also included 29 assists in 16 WHL playoff games, which adds up to 38 points in 16 WHL playoff games. As a somewhat undersized 17-year-old teenager, I'm allowed to read this tweet from Cam Robinson from last season where he said Gavin McKenna has 122 points over his current 48-game point streak. Read that again. Sounds good, Cam. I will. Gavin McKenna has 122 points over his current 48-game point streak. To say this changes everything is not an understatement. This is the first overall pick. This changes everything. Heading into winning their last draft lottery 10 years ago in 2016, the Leafs had William Nylander at 8th overall. And we were pretty sure he was going to be good, but we didn't know how good, and we had high hopes. And the Leafs had Mitch Marner at 4th overall. And we knew he was going to be pretty good, and we didn't know how good, and that's something to build around. But you get the first overall pick, and it's Austin Matthews, and he breaks the record for most goals ever in a Leaf uniform, and he scores 60 goals twice. That changes everything. Did it change their Stanley Cup drought? No, it didn't, all right? But they made the playoffs for 9 consecutive years, which for a long time felt impossible. And that was what the mood was yesterday. It wasn't just that we disagreed with the direction, it's that the direction was familiar. What if we're heading back to that? This Tantalus and Sisyphus relationship that we had with the playoffs, where we do well in the regular season every year, we make it every year, and we get so close every year, and then blow it! Yeah, that hurt. You know what sucked? This, where we have to watch 16 teams that aren't the one that we cheer for compete. It's actually kind of fun not having a dog in the fight, but I'd rather have a dog in the fight because I got the passion and I'm a sicko. And I know I'm joined by the rest of you who have the passion and you're sickos. You want the stress. You want the heart palpitations. You want the heartbreak because you know what's on the other side of the heartbreak if it ever goes your way. If the Leafs on ice luck ever match their off ice luck like it did tonight, oh, what a beautiful evening that would be for all. No matter what happens, this draft lottery win changes everything. And I can't wait to see what happens next. But my friend, for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. Enjoy your night. You earned it.